Hello everyone, this is John, host of MGTOW is Freedom. MGTOW, men going their own way. MGTOW, I have the penis. I'm a man. And I want to ask you a funny question. Is Donald Trump MGTOW? Is he a man going his own way? Well, in the strict sense, no, not at all. In the strict sense, because as MGTOW we say, being frustrated and pissed off and tired of dealing with women and taking an entirely different approach to dealing with them. But that approach is individual. It's independent of any set philosophy in stone. Donald Trump has had numerous kids, many divorces, and he's still married. He's chosen to go his own way then, but he has the ability, he has the insulatory protection of his wealth. And he believes he can just give away I don't know how many millions of dollars to his ex-wives. But he is definitely going his own way. Definitely going his own way, in a manner of speaking. But he's not MGTOW, is he? So what does it mean to be MGTOW? I'm sitting here, because I feel like it, smoking a fine Arturo Fuente, Chateau Fuente with Maduro wrapper. I'm drinking Glenfiddich 12-year Special Reserve. And man, is it good scotch. If you listen carefully, there's no one bitching at me. There's no one telling me what to do. If I feel like burping like I did a minute ago, I'll burp. I'll fart. I'll cook what I want for dinner. Or I'll go out to dinner and order food. Or I'll hire someone to come to my place and cook food for me. That's what being MGTOW is. So Donald Trump, yeah, he's MGTOW, but he's involving women in his life still. He does have the insulatory protection of money. And that's exactly what women want. And that is why Donald, who I guess is close to 70 years old, I don't even know for sure right now. I've had a fair amount of scotch and a decent cigar. And his wife, who immigrated here and became a U.S. citizen, was a model, supermodel type from Europe. What I say is more power to the man if he wants to spend his money that way. So what is MGTOW? It's the ability to think for yourself and choose for yourself. It's to make your own choices and not have to regret them. Now, my choice to get married at the time was good, and later I regretted it. My choice to have and do those things because I wanted sons, I don't regret and never will. I love my sons tremendously, and I wanted them, and they were worth the risk of getting married. And I took that risk, and I paid for it dearly. The same way Trump is paid dearly, except he has more money to give away. Right. So being MGTOW, what do? Do we continue along our path? Well, I tell you what, I don't think we have a fucking choice. I think that the feminist women need to be battled. They have to be, because they will not voluntarily give up. They will continue to come after us as free men. They'll continue to play their games, trying to shame us, taking advantage of us financially. I watched a video of this good-looking woman in New York, and she was very candidly talking about how she uses dating websites to get dates from men, so that these men take her out every night and buy her dinner. All right, where were we at? Just had to say goodbye to my son who's heading off to work. All right, I think this is where we're at, but we'll see. We've got to engage in this battle, this fight, as men. What's important to me is to note that there's a social evolution, a legal progressive movement to take more and more men's rights away from us. Here we were. And that girl, she believed that she could use her body and her looks to get dates every night and have men pay for it. Pay for it. There's this entitlement mentality among women, and not just the good-looking ones, not just the ones with nice bodies or young, but there's this entitlement mentality that they want and therefore men should give, and they will trick us. Now, this one girl, she's doing it. Men are voluntarily giving their money just for a chance to get into her panties, just to qualify to be a beta provider for her when she's ready to get married. What a horrible leech. And I have taken women out like that and dated them. Back a long time ago. But women are also using the legal system. Mandatory confiscation of men's wealth to pay for what women want. Healthcare is a great example of that. The healthcare system is required to give women the same cost as men, even though they require more medical coverage, more treatment, more doctor's visits, more checkups, more testing. They are much more expensive. Much more expensive than men. So who's paying the difference? Men are. We're having to pay more so women can pay less. And men have decided, MGTOW being at the front, the strong anti-feminist MGTOW types, guys like me who are willing to stand up and tell a bitch to shut the fuck up and get out of the way and sit down, close her fucking yap. We're tired of paying for it, and we're starting to make a lot of noise, and a lot more men are realizing it. Men are not getting married anymore, they're not putting up with it, and they're just fucking leaving these hags behind. These zombie-like hordes who have plastic tits, they're doing everything they can to trick us. Makeup tricks, hair tricks. They say they're Nawalt, they say that they're different. They try being like men, so we'll spend time with them. When in truth, all they're trying to do is get a toehold in our lives so that they can get married and turn around and steal our wealth using the legal system. And men are wising up all along the way. So what do we do, men? You just walk away? A lot of guys are doing that. A lot of MGTOW are. But guess what they're doing? They're going to use more laws, like the socialized medicine laws. There's going to be socialized welfare laws, and they're already out there, and they'll become stronger as less men volunteer to take care of women. They're going to use more and more government to come after us, to the point where you're getting no benefit from them. You're not getting the benefit of their wonderful company or their golden pussies. You won't get that from them, but you'll still be required to pay for them. That's what socialism is about. It destroyed the traditional values that people had, made that the enemy of feminism, and is bringing our country down. It's bringing it to its knees. And guys like Donald Trump have the money to do what they want with women. Grab them by the pussy. Right? Use them, marry them, have kids, whatever the fuck he wants, and just leave them behind. If it was a nation full of men, Donald Trumps, women would use their power to steal all of his wealth, all of our wealth. Just he's an example of a man with enough wealth that he doesn't have to worry about it. He's giving up tens of millions of dollars, but I guarantee he's not giving up billions of dollars. He's probably well aware of asset protection techniques. They're called trusts, irrevocable trusts. When I worked as a paralegal and was going to law school, that's the type of legal work I was doing. It was asset protection, foreign corporations, learning how the system works, how to protect oneself. Donald Trump, I know, does that. And he settles with these women to get them out of his life. One thing that's good about Trump, even though, from a MGTOW perspective, the average MGTOW is he doesn't play by that game. He just pays for the pussy. He pays an enormous amount of money. But what does he care? He's Donald Trump. The good part about Donald is he stands up and he does not apologize for who he is and what he is. God bless him for that. He called Hillary some shit in the debates. Nasty woman, I believe is what he called her. That's a nasty woman. He'd interrupt her. He'd talk over the top of her. He didn't give a fuck. He didn't play into that feminist fucking game. God bless Donald Trump for that. He gets the fucking MGTOW award of the decade, of the fucking century for that. For showing men that you don't have to stand down. And who did he go up against? Who did Donald Trump go up against? The biggest goddamn feminist alive today. Hillary fucking Rodham Clinton. Would you have the guts to do that? To stand on stage in front of the world and call her a nasty woman? Call her a liar? Talk about what an unethical moron and piece of shit she is? Talk about her crappy ass husband in front of her and the world? That man has some fucking balls. What I like to see is men acting like men and not apologizing for it. I may not agree with his policy on marrying women, but I do agree with his attitude, which is, I don't give a fuck. I know what's right and wrong. And he does what he wants. He goes his own way. So is Donald Trump MGTOW? Goddamn right he is. Is Donald Trump a monk? Fuck no, he's not. Is Donald Trump, like most of us, unwilling to go after women because of the cost? No, he's not. But he definitely goes his own way. He's his own man with regard to how he treats women. And I respect the man for that. I don't agree with his political policies. I don't even know what they are for the most part. But I know that his policies are anti-feminist. Because if he was a fucking mangina, if he was a pussified beta male, if he was a white knight, if he was a dupe, a stooge, and a knave, he would have kowtowed and kissed Hillary's ass. And he wouldn't have won the election. He wouldn't have beat the other Republicans, who are a bunch of fucking pussies. And that's why they lost in the primaries. Donald Trump is the man. Because he is his own man and he's going his own way. While we may not agree with the way he deals with women, look at him as a fine example, a leader of men who says, do what you want. He doesn't tell me what to do, and if he did, I wouldn't fucking listen to him. But isn't he a great example of being a man? It's a great question, isn't it? Because of that, he's a leader of men, whether or not you agree with him. What do you guys think? Let me know. Donald Trump, MGTOW or not, Donald Trump, leader of men, Donald Trump, sets a good example. Do you think there are more men now or less men that are afraid of women because of Donald Trump and his campaign and his election against the biggest feminist whore on the planet? Why is she a whore? She has sold her soul. She has sold her conscience. She has sold her morality, her ethics, her family, her name, everything. She is traded for power, money. That is a whore. What do you guys think? Donald Trump wants me to stand up and say shit like, I have the penis. You know, what are you going to do about it? The fuck are you going to do? I have the penis. I'm the man. I'm the man of my life. I'm free. I can do what I want. I can smoke a cigar and have a scotch. Fuck it. Who's going to stop me? I refuse to be shamed, guilted, cajoled, tricked. When a feminist makes her presence known, I get in her way. I make sure she understands I have the penis. I do not bend or give in. And I want to encourage, and that's a big part of my channel, is to encourage men to act like men. There's a couple really good philosophical MGTOW channels. One's the Metaphysics something or another. It's a great title and it's a horrible title because I can never remember it. I just subscribed to him. There's a lot of great channels on MGTOW. Sandman is a big one. He's the most prolific. MGTOW 101 is great. Right? And I don't care if you do or don't like them personally or agree with them personally, but look at the effect that they're having. Look at how they're encouraging men to go their own way. That is what makes them great. Not because they're Donald Trump or they made $1 million or they slept with 100 supermodels. That's not what makes men great. What makes men great is being yourself and not fearing what other people think of you and not letting other people tell you how you need to be. And that's a big part of my channel, is saying MGTOW is freedom. I have the penis. They can't take that from you. MGTOW is freedom. When you are MGTOW, going your own way, you gain freedom. It is a personal declaration of independence. And it is yours to have if you want it. You can become MGTOW and be quiet. You can become MGTOW and do videos, comment, get in people's lives and talk to them about this. Talk to them about freedom. Talk to them about what women are doing to men and how it destroys manhood. Gavin McInnes is an interesting MGTOW type. He battles feminists. And he went after that copper cab, that fat ginger bastard who actually became a fucking tranny. He is so gender confused, so muddled and mired in the indoctrination of feminism that he doesn't even know what the fuck he is anymore. I watched him when he used to rant and rave at Gavin. And then they had a discussion while that dumb fat bastard was on women's hormones, right? Hormone replacement drugs. He was an emotional, stupid wreck, a driveling idiot. That is what feminism does to men. It destroys them. So we need to leave it behind and go our own way and be independent. Be like Donald Trump in spirit, but make your own decisions. Go your own way. And every day I get up and I look in the mirror and I say, I have the penis, which means I am my own man. I am freedom. MGTOW is freedom. Semper Fi.